Hello, my name is Nathan, and this is the first video in a series talking about American naval history. This video will cover the topic of the Revolution, privateering, Robert Morris, and John Paul Jones. Now, the American Navy started on October 13th, 1775, with the Continental Congress appointing delegate Robert Morris, who was born in Liverpool, moved to Pennsylvania, and later became the Pennsylvania delegate of the Continental Congress. He was appointed as the leader of the Naval Committee, thus creating the Continental Navy. But an issue with that was privateering. The Continental Congress allowed privateering in the Revolutionary War, which really hurt the recruiting effort for the Continental Navy, which 0 out of the 13 colonies met their quota for the recruitment. Sailors turned to privateering rather than the Continental Navy because it was way more lucrative. The privateers would meet with defenseless merchant ships, and they would attack them, thus hurting the supply of the British Navy or the British Army while there was a British blockade around America, because the privateers, as well as the Continental Navy, had a hard time going against the most powerful navy in the world at the time, the British Navy. But there are some instances of people winning, such as John against the British Navy in multiple battles, such as John Paul Jones versus the Serapis, which John Paul Jones was captaining the Richard, and he went against the HMS Serapis, which was far more powerful than the Richard, with the Serapis having 50 guns aboard, and the Richard, well, I don't know the exact number, but only having probably less than 20, I believe. And that was when John Paul Jones, who is noted as the father of the Navy, came out with the famous saying, when the captain of the Serapis had yelled at John Paul Jones, saying, "Will you surrender?" when the Richard was burning and sinking. And John Paul Jones said, "I have not yet begun to fight." And John Paul Jones took the Richard and slammed it right into the side of the Serapis, and his Marines and sailors attaching the Richard to the Serapis, and the Marines had jumped over, and John Paul Jones' Marines had jumped over onto the board of on board the Serapis, and they wiped out everybody aboard. Not everybody, but they defeated everybody aboard, and they defeated everybody aboard the Serapis, thus taking the ship. For himself, John Paul Jones won a huge victory for the Americans in the Revolution. Now, a lot of naval history is looked over, especially in the American Revolution. There's not a lot to look up about privateering. There are some videos here and there, but it's not widely talked about or really known. We know about some people here and there, just like John Paul Jones, that famous saying. But I'm glad that I'm making these videos to bring more of a light to American naval history, because it's so fascinating to me. A really popular book with privateering that I recommend here is Rebels at Sea. This book is pretty interesting, and I think one day I'll make a video doing like a book review and deep diving into privateering during the Revolution. But yeah, This is the first video on American naval history. Thank you for watching.